In light of the emerging information on the Allianz-Income deal, the Workers' Party believes that it is a sound decision to withhold approval, at least in its current form. If the deal is bad for Singapore and its public interests, it should be blocked. It was revealed on Monday the MAS had belatedly shared information with MCCY only in early August, after many MPs had raised questions related to the proposed transaction during the August 6th sitting. Apparently, it was then the MAS recognized that there could be larger considerations beyond just prudential ones. And hence, only then did the governments begin the process of working together in a whole-of-government manner. I wonder if it's only me who finds it troubling that there was no coordinated discussion between the two major relevant regulators, MAS and MCCY, in advance of the proposed deal. Has our civil service become sufficiently siloed in their treatment of what falls under which agency or ministry's purview that even for transactions of such prominence, no joint working group was convened to ensure sufficient information exchange in advance? Could we be assured that this is a one-off occurrence, or is this a canary in the coal mine that is telling us that we need to look more carefully at how well our government departments exchange relevant data and information?
PSP will support the bill if it is necessary to block the Allianz-Income deal. In my view, a capital reduction exercise should have raised alarm bells in MAS, even from a prudential standpoint, especially given that NTUC Enterprise has had to put in capital injections of about up to $630 million over the years. I was therefore surprised to hear Minister Chee disclose on Monday that based on the plans submitted, MAS did not have reason for concern, as income was projected to continue to meet regulatory capital requirements with a healthy margin, even with a capital reduction. While we trust that MAS officers are highly professional and have conducted a thorough review of the deal from a prudential point of view, can the Minister further explain why MAS does not have any further prudential concerns over the capital reduction plan, especially considering NTUC Enterprise history of having to inject capital into income over the years? The public has been left with the impression that our government agencies are siloed and coordination within the government is poor. Or to put it simply, the left hand does not know what the right hand is doing.
You made serious allegations regarding our public officers, regarding our agencies. I do not know why you have to take this approach, especially after I had explained what happened on Monday. I had clarified the facts on Monday. Why is it necessary for Mr. Leong and for Associate Professor Lim to still want to throw our public officers under the bus? Why is that necessary, sir? Sir, I've explained earlier why MAS, when they received the capital reduction plan, needed time to assess, and this was only in mid of July. The officers needed time to go through this plan, and because they were not aware of the undertakings and the details of MCCY's exemption that was given earlier. The exemption was gazetted, but the details and the conditions and the undertakings, that was not made public. So I don't think it is fair for Mr. Leong to expect that the MAS team would automatically know what those details are when those details are not made public. It was only after we had a fuller understanding of the set of issues, after the 6th of August Parliament sitting, that the MAS team saw that there could be a connection to what MCCY was looking at. And then they surfaced this to the board, and then we shared it with MCCY. So I hope Mr. Leong and Associate Professor Lim could give our officers some credit, could understand what they were going through, and also look at it from their perspective, from their point of view. They were not trying to do something wrong, or as Professor Lim mentioned, to lead to multiple breakdowns of communications or to work in a siloed manner. That's certainly not what they were trying to do. They were trying their very best to do their work. And when they saw that there was a link, they shared the information. They surfaced it to the board, and then we shared the information with MCCY. And this is how the government then came together across different parts of the government, taking a whole government approach, coming to Parliament with this bill to seek Parliament's approval. This is the outcome of a whole of government effort. Mr. Leong asked, who should be in charge? Shouldn't the cabinet be in charge? I would like to ask Mr. Leong, who do you think made the decision to take this bill to come to Parliament? It is the cabinet that decided that we could not allow the deal in its current form to proceed, and that's why we are bringing this bill to Parliament for approval. I do have an issue with how Mr. Leong has described the capital reduction plan as an asset stripping exercise. And I don't think that is a fair description. I think Mr. Leong deliberately chose that term. And this is not the first time I've heard Mr. Leong make unkind remarks towards NTUC. Sir, NTUC has explained, you heard from SMS Desmond Tan earlier, and also other colleagues from the labour movement, that they are entering into this deal with the right intent. They acted on good faith. They wanted to do the right thing. They wanted to strengthen income so that income is in a stronger position to serve its policyholders and also to fulfill its social mission. Because to do good, you must first do well. That was the intent. Now, we may have differences in views, as Minister Edwin Tong mentioned earlier, with regard to this deal, whether this deal is something that the government would allow to proceed. And we have come to the conclusion that we would not allow this deal to proceed. So yes, there is a difference in views between what NTUC, NE, Income have put up and what the government feels is the right way forward. But we do not disagree with the objectives of why we are doing this or why Income is doing this. The purpose of doing this is the right one, is to strengthen income, to do well, so that it can do good. The members of the opposition often remind us that just because there are differences in views, it doesn't mean that we should automatically jump to the conclusion that you have a bad intention.